And this, ladies and gentlemen, is my EDC. EDC means everyday carry, which means that this bag right here, including today and every other day, goes into every single job with me, regardless of what the job is, no matter what. And the idea is that with the EDC, the everyday carry, with everything that's inside this bag, plus, let's say, whatever random kit we've chosen for this job. This one, for example, is a door kit. So let's say I go into a job where there's a bedroom door that's not latching properly. The idea is that no matter what's going on, this EDC bag and this kit should be enough to get me through the whole job 90% of the time. You're never going to be perfect. You can't take the whole van upstairs with you, but 90% of the time, the EDC coupled with the kit should get you through the job. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you what is inside my EDC kit. Now, I want to be very clear when we're talking about what's in this kit. I add things and I take things out. This is not a static kit. This is something that I work on over time. So just know that the status of this kit today is the status of this kit today, but you may find some good reasons to do something different. And I'm going to start off right off the bat. We're just going to start pulling stuff out. And first of all is my multimeter. This is for troubleshooting electrical jobs. I also have in this front pocket some trash bags. You always need to be able to pick up your trash. Right up in the top here, I've got a tape measure. However, this is a spare, okay? I'm still going in the job with a tape measure on my hip every time as well. And then we have, I'm not going to yank them out, but I have on each side of this, I have these little tiny pockets here, one glove in each pocket. I'm going to tell you the truth, I don't really wear gloves a lot. I'll just injure my hands, that's fine with me. So next I've got a couple razor knives. You can't have too many of those. You should have one of those on your hip as well. I also have down in here, this is a GFCI outlet tester. You're gonna need these all the time, so keep one in your EDC bag. This is a stud finder right here, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't really need this, but I keep it anyways, because every now and then I have a little bit of trouble trying to find a stud without it. But the truth is, you don't really have to have that in that bag, and I don't really use mine all that much. Next, we have both of these. These are Allen wrench sets, both SAE and metric. Also, the truth is, I could probably take these out of the bags and I don't think I would even notice. I very rarely use them, but I will show you one particular Allen wrench that I use a lot once we get into this hole over here. Next is going to be a two-piece pull saw. You just have to put these two pieces together. It's actually super easy. I'll pop this one in here right now and you'll see that it just takes a couple seconds. This is a very small, flimsy one, but it'll get the job done. It's just for some fine cutting. Next, I always actually keep this in here, paintable caulk. I don't care which one it is, but keep a paintable caulk in your bag. And if you want to, go ahead and put some bathroom caulk in there, paintable or not, if you want some separate adhesive bathroom caulk. But this one is adhesive, it's for kitchen and bath, and it's paintable. We have our 5-in-1, so this is gonna be my scraper. This is gonna be almost like a mud knife for me. In fact, a lot of guys will keep a mud knife in their kit. I don't keep a mud knife in my kit. This is a 5-in-1, 15-in-1, 50-in-1, whatever you wanna call it. Very handy tool to have, always keep one in your bag. Next is going to be this cold chisel, and I'll tell you the truth, I don't use this very often, but I love this cold chisel a lot. It has gotten me through so much, and it just makes me feel good to have it with me. So I carry around that extra weight all the time, literally for no reason. Next is going to be a Phillips. As you can see, this is a relatively long Phillips screwdriver here. I don't find that I ever need a short one. I do have an option in this bag for a short one if I really have to have a short one, but a long Phillips screwdriver is just enough. And then this common slotted screwdriver right here, specifically with a tip that's wide enough to be getting into toilet tanks and tightening the bolts inside toilet tanks. They tend to be common slotted. Otherwise, I very rarely even need a common slotted screwdriver. Next, we have our screen spline tool. This is for redoing screens. I hate screens, but the truth is I do a lot of them, so this tool just stays in the bag there. Let me check all these pockets, make sure they're all empty. It looks like they are. Yes, they are. So next, you know what? We can come to the outside actually real quick. So right here, what you'll see is an actual flashlight. This is a flashlight that just stays hooked to the side of the bag. I don't use flashlights very often either, to tell you the truth. I always have my phone with me. My phone has a flashlight on it. I rarely need a flashlight to begin with, but if I need one for just a few seconds, I'll just pop out my phone flashlight. Next is going to be this kit right here. You'll recognize this from Home Depot and similar kits like it. It's got paddle bits, it's got masonry bits, regular drill bits, it's got Torx, common slotted, Phillips, hex, everything that you need in here. What I do is I buy a cheap one of these. When I see them on sale at Home Depot, I'll buy a cheap one. And then I'll come to this one in my bag, like this one right here. If I buy a new cheap one, I'll come grab this one, I'll take it out, and I have another bin that I'll empty all of this into that's like my spare bits bin, and I'll replace it with a new one. This is just a really handy way to have a whole lot of stuff at your fingertips very quickly. Next, this could also come out if I don't want to keep it in here, a plastic drop cloth. I really, truly, rarely need it, but it doesn't take up much room. It doesn't weigh much. It just kind of squeezes into the side there, so I just go ahead and keep it in there. Next is going to be a hammer, and as much as a handyman should have a hammer, I don't use it a lot. You don't really need a hammer all that often as a handyman, not in my opinion, because I'm not framing sheds and stuff every day, and I'm not remodeling kitchens. I'm doing smaller jobs, but still, you can have a hammer in your kit for sure. That's just going to make sense. Next is going to be a paintbrush, and the size of this paintbrush, this is actually not because of taking up space in the kit. This just happens to be one of my favorite brushes. I like holding it from the end like this and just feathering things out really quickly. I do a lot of feathering, and it feels better for feathering. Next, I have a round file, specifically a round file, and specifically only for front door strike plates. Sometimes you need to move a strike plate a little bit, and you've got two options when you need to move a strike plate. You can either take the strike plate off, fill the holes that the screws were in with wood, cut everything around or chisel everything around to a slightly different location, and then redo the strike plate. Or if you just need to gain a 1/16 of an inch somewhere, you can use a round file and very quickly make that happen, and it's a big time saver. Next is going to be just a regular wood chisel, and the point of this wood chisel I think is relatively obvious. The point of this chisel is really just to chisel around door frames, anywhere else that you need to chisel, but most of the time this is going to be around mortising on a door or a door frame. Next is going to be a tiny common slotted screwdriver, a tiny little precision one. This is mostly for set screws, for towel bars, toilet paper holders, and things like that. That's the reason it's in there. Now, I told you that I do have a solution for if I need a stubby screwdriver, and that's this guy right here. I have a common slotted and Phillips on here. Honestly, I never need it. I really, truly never need it. This is always enough. They're so rare. It's extremely rare to need anything other than this. I found that once I started making sure I always had the screwdriver, I'm generally always able to do what I need to do with that screwdriver. Next is going to be a very tiny Phillips. I don't need these a lot, but sometimes working on like microwaves and other appliances, you're going to find little number 1 Phillips screws, so go ahead and have a precision screwdriver for that. Now this one's extremely important. This is a T10. This is a This is a Torx T10 right here. This has a very specific purpose too. Number 1, every now and then it's going to be some sort of set screw, but for the most part, 9 times out of 10, when I use this little T10, it's going to be doing a bathroom exhaust fan or a laundry room exhaust fan, but it's for those exhaust fans on the ceiling. Generally speaking, those are going to be attached with either the number 1 Phillips or with a T10. And next is a little bitty scribe. This is really, I hope y'all can see that well. This is really only for digging the paint out of screw heads. I don't use it for anything else, but I'll be damned if it isn't really handy for getting the paint out of the screw heads. Next is this tiny little Allen wrench. Now you can do 3/32 or 1/16. I find that even though, yes, those are different sizes, I find that faucets, towel bars, toilet paper holders, anything with a set screw that has a little Allen wrench set screw, generally speaking, this 1/16 is going to fit. Now, technically, 1/16 is a little smaller than the 3/32, but in my opinion, I've used this forever, man, and every time I need one, the 1/16 works. But if you want to be more precise, get a 3/32 Allen wrench into yours. And next we have our countersink bit. This countersink bit is also very important. You don't want to split all the wood you're working on, and you don't want screw heads sitting up above stuff. Can you all see that pretty good? You don't want screw heads sitting up above stuff, and you don't want to be splitting wood. So go ahead and countersink before you're putting big old screws in there. Next is going to be some latex gloves. I don't use these too often, but yes, they're very nice to have when you're working on somebody's nasty toilet. Next is going to be these electrical pliers. I forget what you call them, but they're the pliers that you use for electrical work. I don't need them very often. Honestly, these pliers don't serve hardly any purpose other than crimping splices for me. Everything else I just do with other tools that I have when I'm working on electrical. Now here's one of my favorites right here, man. This is by the company Crescent. This is 𝗬𝗢𝗨, W-I-S-S, by the company Crescent, and these are titanium shears. I have like 6 pair of these because I keep getting scared that they're going to discontinue them someday, and I'll order 1 or 2 extras. So I have quite a bit of these now, but man, this is one of my favorites. This thing never gets dull. It always cuts. It's really a workhorse. So that is, again, by the company Crescent. Let me see if I can show y'all. Maybe you can zoom in if you need to, but it's by the company Crescent. And the like make model, I don't know what you want to call it, is 𝗬𝗢𝗨, W-I-S-S, and they're titanium shears. Next, I've just got a good old-fashioned pair of dikes, just a good pair of dikes. Like many of the other things in this bag, generally those dikes are only used on maybe 1 out of 10 jobs, and it's really just getting me that last few percent of the way there. Next is going to be 2 crescent wrenches. I used to do 3. I used to do a large, a medium, and a small. Now I do something that's kind of like, this is a 10-inch right here, so it's not really large. It's a little bigger than what I might call medium. And then this kind of medium is not quite as small as a small one. But I find between the 10-inch and then, what is this probably? Yeah, an 8-inch. So a 10-inch and an 8-inch crescent wrench, I have found gets me through every single job. Next is a pair of needle nose pliers, and honestly, the only thing I ever use these for is putting a little curl on the end of a wire, so if you don't need to do that, you can honestly just get away with not even having those. And then I have a pair of regular pliers, and I don't use these too often either, but again, like everything else, man, sometimes you just need to have it for that 1 out of 10 times that you are going to need it. And then, so these all go in this bag. This is CLC. I don't have a link for it or anything. It comes from Home Depot. Sorry, my bad. It comes from Ace Hardware. That's where I bought both of my CLC bags, is Ace Hardware. So I've also got a list over here of things that could or would be in this bag, that sometimes are in this bag. These are just sort of optional things that a lot of people are going to have in their EDC that we're going to go over. So number 1 is one that I actually am looking for to put back in this bag. I'm just now getting back in the saddle. Sean is doing a kitchen right now. He's remodeling a kitchen, and he's going to be busy for a few weeks. So what I'm doing is I'm taking his place, and I'm now going out on all of these jobs, rebuilding my bag, getting everything back in it. One of the few things I haven't found to put back in it is my drywall saw. That's the little sharp pointy one that you just use to cut through drywall. I don't use it to cut through drywall though. The point of my drywall saw for me is actually to get hair out of drains, whether in a bathroom sink or a bathtub. Getting hair out of drains, drywall saws work really great for that because it's a very skinny little tip there with all those sharp teeth, and you can stick it down in the drain and hook some of that hair and even twist it like rolling up some spaghetti on a fork and then pull that stuff out. Next is going to be channel lock pliers. Now, I'll be okay without channel locks. I don't find that they're super necessary, but they are my favorite type of plier, and I'm just going to feel better when I get that in there. So I'm still looking for that. Next is also going to be a multi-tool. I'll probably start wearing my multi-tool on my belt again. I just don't have it at the moment, but it used to stay in this bag, and a lot of people will keep it in the bag, so that's an option if you need one. Next is blue tape. I do usually keep blue tape in the bag. I just don't have any in there right now, but I advise you to go ahead and throw some in there if you have some. Next is a pipe wrench. I don't keep a pipe wrench in the bag anymore, and I won't be keeping a pipe wrench in the bag anymore. It adds a lot of weight, and I just don't need it frequently enough. Same thing with vice grips. I don't ever really need vice grips, and I used to keep 3 sizes of them in there, which was stupid, but you learn over time what you don't use, and I don't ever use vice grips. Moisture meter, kept a moisture meter in there for a while, and all it did was just take up space, but you may decide that you want one. Next is going to be, a valve stem kit. Let me grab one for you. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. All right. All right, so this is a valve stem repair kit right here. This is for like your bathtub and your shower repair kits. The truth is I do use this semi-frequently, but I have a kit for this now, so it doesn't need to be inside my EDC bag. And by the way, that's another point to all of this. Part of the point of the kits is to get stuff out of your bag. For example, I showed you that T10, that Torx 10 driver that I have in there that's just for the exhaust fan. So if I build an exhaust fan kit, which I actually have, if I build and actually use an exhaust fan kit, I can just take that T10 out of the bag, or it's so tiny, if I want to, I can keep it in there. But the point is, when you have something that you don't use very often, if you can build a kit and get it in the kit and know that you're gonna have the kit and use the kit, then you don't need this anymore, which is why this no longer stays in my EDC bag. Next is going to be the faucet tool. I don't have one to show you. I have one here somewhere, but I have no clue where it's at. The truth is I never use them. I know a lot of y'all do. I really find that I don't ever need it. Everything that I've got in this bag already always serves me just fine on faucets. I don't struggle with them the way that a lot of people say they do, so it's not a big deal for me, but you can have one of those there too. Hand plane, I used to keep a hand plane mostly for planing down doors that were rubbing on frames. I just don't do that anymore. I find that I don't need to do it frequently enough to justify keeping it in the bag, but it does stay in the vehicle still. And next is going to be a strainer basket wrench. I just don't do enough of those anymore. So again, that's now in my kitchen sink kit, and I don't really need to have it out here in my EDC bag because I have a kitchen sink kit. I mentioned earlier a mud knife. A lot of guys love to keep mud knives in their EDC bags. I don't think it's necessary. Next is torpedo level. I'm on the fence. I may put it back, but I don't have a torpedo level in my EDC bag right now, simply because I find that I just don't need a level often enough. But every now and then I do, and then I wish it was in there. So again, you have to sort of weigh everything for yourself and try to figure out how much weight is it worth for you to carry around. And speaking of weight, this bag right here, when it's all loaded up, probably weighs something in the ballpark of about 40 pounds. Now, to some people, that's absurd. That's way too heavy. Why on earth would you carry all that weight around? Well, here's the deal, man. To me, it's not that heavy. To me, I throw the bag over my shoulder. I got the drill on my hip. I've got my tape measure on my hip. I've got my razor knife on my other hip. And I go into the house and I put my bag down and I do my work. And I don't have to carry that bag around until I'm ready to leave and go back to the van. So the 50 or 100 feet that I walk from the van to the front door, even to the upstairs of the house and to the bathroom that I'm working on, it's not very far. This bag doesn't feel very heavy to me, so I don't mind carrying it. But you have to decide for you, how many trips back and forth to the van are you willing to take before you decide that you would rather have a heavier bag and make fewer trips back to the van, or have a lighter bag and make more trips back to the van. That's a call each of us gets to make. Next is going to be more files. I showed y'all that I have the little round file, right? Just for the door frames, just for the strike plates rather. I have this round file. Now, I used to have more files, all kinds of files, plus a rasp. Again, I feel like it just added a bunch of weight and I never really needed it. And then finally, rags. Rags will probably get put back in here. I've taken them out, I've put them in, I've taken them out, I've put them in. I bring my cleaning kit into most jobs anyways because I need to clean up after myself. But yeah, a lot of times when I don't have the cleaning kit, I don't like that I have to either carry the extra cleaning kit or go back down to the van for a rag. So I'm probably going to start stuffing some rags down in here. Now, if y'all want to download the inventory for this, I've got some good news for you. I've got a few things for you. So number one, on bulletproofhandyman.com in the documents section, you can download my EDC toolkit inventory. However, what else you can download is this entire set of papers for all of the tools that a handyman needs. I also have an old video. In fact, maybe I'll link it right here at the end of this video on like the outro screen, for a video for every single tool that you need for your entire handyman business. So you can download the EDC kit inventory. You can download the inventory for literally every single tool you need for your handyman business. And then also remember this kit right over here. My, which one was this? Yeah, that's my door kit. So I've also got the paperwork for the door kit. This is an inventory for everything that's in that kit. And what you'll find at bulletproofhandyman.com is all of the inventories for all of my finished kits. Now, I have unfinished kits too that are still works in progress, so I don't have inventories for those yet. But as I build the new kits, I update them on the site, and that inventory is always my latest cemented in kit inventory. And one last thing. I'm in the Handyman headquarters. This is actually a rental house that I run my business out of, but we're now doing Founders and Fathers Technical College out of here. What that's going to be is if you apply and get chosen to come to Founders and Fathers Technical College, I'm going to fly you into Tucson. I'm going to pay for that. I'm going to put you up here at the headquarters with your own nice little bedroom with a brand new bed and clean linens. This kitchen's going to be fully stocked with all the food you need for 5 days that you're here, and I'm going to fly you into Tucson, and we're going to come in here. You're going to land on a Tuesday. We'll hang out. I'll cook dinner. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to dive into your business, man. We are whatever it is that you need. If you need new clients, we're going to make client onboarding packages. If you need to know how to sweat copper, we're going to sweat copper. Whatever it is you need is what we're going to work on, you and 2 other individuals. So we'll have 3 people at a time for 5 days right here at the Handyman headquarters. If y'all want to participate in that, you need to go to bulletproofhandyman.com and go to the events section. This one, you'll see the event. It says sponsored by 𝗪, because this one is sponsored by 𝗪, Q-U-O, formerly OpenPhone. All of these events are going to have a sponsor. I can't pay for this out of my pocket, so 𝗪 is the sponsor for the one that's coming up. The very first one, literally the inaugural class, is sponsored by 𝗪, formerly OpenPhone. They are an app-based phone, a VoIP phone that lives in an app on your cell phone so that you don't have to carry 2 phones. They've got an AI receptionist. They've got all sorts of great features. I use them myself for both Founders and Fathers, which is a whole separate project, and I also use them for the Bulletproof Handyman Business YouTube channel as well. In fact, if you go to the description of this video or any of my videos, you'll find my 𝗪 number. I'm a customer, and by the way, I was a customer with 𝗪 before I ever started working with them as an influencer, as an ambassador, as an affiliate. I was just a 𝗪 customer before I ever started working out with them, and I'm still a 𝗪 customer. I love them. They're sponsoring the very first FFTC class. I'm super excited. Go to bulletproofhandyman.com to get signed up and get applied for that class, and click on the link and check out 𝗪 and see if you can use their product as well, just to tell them thank you. But don't ever buy a product just for me. All I want you to do is check them out for me and decide for yourself if they're best for your business. So if you guys have any questions about tools, tool inventories, kit inventories, 𝗪, Founders and Fathers Technical College, EDC bags and EDC bag inventories, or any other handyman related question, I want y'all to go ahead and email me at bulletproofhandymanbusiness@gmail.com, or go ahead and comment on this video. I do reply to every single comment on every single video. So email me, bulletproofhandymanbusiness@gmail.com, or reply here. Go to bulletproofhandyman.com and look at all the features and tools and stuff I have for you there. Otherwise, I love you guys. I hope you're out there killing it, and I'll see y'all on the next one.